Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day and happy Monday to you. It is February 1st. So happy February to you as well. All right, we don't have any meetings today, so we're just going to jump on in as to who's on our show. Of course, we have Jeff Parker here, who's going to give us a kind of a weekend update and how well everything went with the vaccination distribution. And then I was out there on Friday, and we interviewed some residents, and we talked to some memorial care folks, and so we'll bring you that a little bit later in our program. Let's go ahead and go to our COVID information for you. Of course, 2,200 doses were given out this weekend right here in Laguna Woods Village. And if you have any questions about how that worked or how you can participate, you can certainly call the hotline that we've set up for you, which is 949-594-2533, and that is the vaccination hotline. We ask you to please do not call resident services. And also, if you want additional information, you can go to Laguna Woods Village alerts.com, and that is where we have most of our updates regarding the vaccination. Now, of course, you could always go to occovid19.ochealthinfo.com, and that is where you can get all of the vaccine phase information from the county. And if you would like to be vaccinated at Soka University or Disneyland, you can go to the registration site, othena.com, and get your appointment through that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. Well, I'm so happy to report that we didn't have any rain over the weekend, and we aren't going to be having any till maybe tomorrow night, so there is a chance of showers tomorrow night. Today, partly cloudy, 68-49. Tomorrow, PM showers, 66-48. And then partly sunny Wednesday, 60-41. And by Thursday, we are looking at some nice sunshine, 66-49, and Friday, partly sunny, 65-49. Our sunrise this morning was 6:47, and our sunset will be at 5:23. And thank you, Sue and Jules, for sending in this beautiful purple iris with the gorgeous background lighting that you have created. We appreciate that. And I did see some great emails come through this past weekend. So I've probably got about 7 new photos to share. So thank you so much for sending those in. And if you have a photo that you would like to share with the community, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Okay, when we return, we will have Jeff Parker, so stay tuned.
At Diane's Hallmark, we're ready for Valentine's Day. Are you? Come in and see our great selection of cards and gifts. We have everything you need to show that special someone how much you care. And don't forget those grandkids either. Diane's Hallmark has many cards and gifts for them as well. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Marketplace Center, right next to Hobby Lobby. We have something for everyone. Come in today and take care of all your Valentine's Day needs.
In a time of need, it's more important than ever to have caring professionals around you that exemplify kindness, compassion, and empathy. Alethea Home Care is a non-medical, family-owned company aiming to improve and maintain the quality of life for our clients and their families. We work hard to ensure your loved ones are safe and comfortable in a warm and familiar environment. Located right here in Laguna Woods, our services include companionship, light housekeeping, respite care, hospice support, transportation, and so much more. Spoil your loved ones with quality care and call today.
At the Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback, you will always find a friendly face to guide you through your annual mammogram visit. Our staff, dedicated subspecialist breast radiologists, knowledge, and innovative technology awaits your visit to our center. With the Laguna Woods shuttle service right at our sidewalk, this convenient location offers you quick access for your appointment. You can expect nothing but the best for all your breast health needs at Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback.
Welcome back. Well, as I mentioned, we have Jeff Parker here, who is giving us an exceptional update from the weekend. A lot of stuff happened this weekend.
We had a very good weekend with the vaccination program, and we're here to give you some updates on some numbers. So yeah, busy weekend, but a very successful one from our point of view.
Excellent, excellent. And yeah, so you want to go in with the numbers, which are looking a bit better.
They are trending in the right direction.
That's
What we want to hear, and that's what we want to see. Again, with regards to a lot of tests still out there, 16,000 tests. The two big ones there we always talk about, hospitalizations and ICUs. Finally dropping below 1,500 in hospitalizations and below 400 in ICUs. Both really in good directions. Those are like over 100 drops in just over the weekend that we talked about from Friday.
Right.
The one unfortunate note was that we had 44 deaths, and over the span of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the whole weekend type thing, over 140 deaths in Orange County. So there are a lot of people unfortunately passing away. So they've gone over the 3,000 mark, unfortunately, in that category. But then again, positive cases down now to 1,355, and of course we saw it when it was 3,000 and 2,000, and so those are all good trends. I know in listening to the CDC and the state, they want to put out the precaution. This is Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of people congregate. That people need to be really careful still, and that's true in the village, because our cases continue to go up as opposed to seeing a drop down. We were at 327 when I last talked to you. We're now at 341, so we've gone up, and we've had unfortunately three additional deaths. Now this is in the city of Laguna Woods. I want to keep saying that people understand this encompasses the whole community here.
Right.
But again, being diligent and careful out there is so critical. And then the good news that as we are, started our next weekend of the vaccination process, you and I were out there Friday, and I was out there again Sunday. Friday was a little wet, and certainly that put a little bit of a damper on our operations, but we got through it. And Saturday and Sunday, really nice weather, and we started to speed it up to the point where we did over 1,100 vaccinations yesterday.
Wow.
And so that was really, really just at kind of our peak that we could do, and we accomplished that. And so that was really exciting from that perspective.
Well, no, that's great. And I wanted to kind of go back to the numbers we were just talking about when it comes to the reports here, where we talk about the skilled nursing deaths versus resident deaths. We've got people talking about how the vaccine is working to prevent people getting the virus inside the skilled nursing areas and the assisted living.
If they're receiving or have received, because they were one of the earliest ones in, if they're receiving that second shot, then they're getting to the point where they're getting up to the close to that 95% success rate with regards to that being in their systems.
Okay.
If you're an individual who's gotten one shot, then you're a little bit more than 50% covered, but you're not fully covered yet.
Right.
So that second shot's still the most critical to make sure you're getting up to that 95% efficacy rate that they've been talking about. That's really what's important.
Okay, good.
On our, as we know, we're back on the tier structure. We're still in tier 1, the purple tier. The numbers have stabilized there. They were up, you remember the case rate was up in the 80s, and now it's fallen back to the 46. But to get into that red tier, which we want to get to next, we got to get down to 8%. So we still got a ways to go. But it's a positive thing that things are slowing down. The cases of hospitalization are real important to get those down. And now it's just a matter of keeping the cases. I know there's new strains out there that they're talking about, but again, that comes back to being real careful about how you go out into the community if you have to go out, and be protective of yourself, and still distancing and wearing your mask, and including suggestions by a lot of people to a double mask in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a place where you are having concern, then by all means you certainly can do that. Although many of our residents have an N95, which is certainly okay if you are of the highest risk. I guess that would be in my opinion. So I don't necessarily want to say, oh, that's the best way to do it, but it does seem that was the one thing that they said most of the workers needed was an N95. So if you happen to have one already, then that can.
It's clearly the best mask out there for that was structured and developed for this type of activity. Yesterday at the vaccination, we saw a lot of people people that had masks and the shields. You know, there's a
Oh, yeah.
combination by our residents, but we ran into only just a few cases where somebody forgot their mask or something like that. Most people came prepared.
Yeah.
And it went, like I said, well, having 1,100 people, that was really exciting.
Oh yeah, it was great to see everybody down there on Friday. I mean, I saw a few people who watched the show and they were kind of excited, and I got to meet with a bunch of people. So it was really nice to see how everything went. So why don't we just go ahead and give everybody an update of how it
Sure.
went. I mean, you already said you had a record day yesterday, but there were some other really great things that came out of it.
So one thing I wanted to correct and let people know about is on Friday when I was in here, we talked about the portal, the
Right.
memorial care. And unfortunately, due to some technology issues, the portal wasn't quite ready yet.
Okay.
And so I know some people saw the show, said, hey, they went looking for the portal and couldn't find it. We're hoping that everything goes smoothly technology-wise today, that tomorrow the portal will be up and we'll be using that in the future
Okay,
to
great.
get people signed up for their vaccine appointments.
Okay.
Again, mentioning the 1,100 was great. I wanted to mention that with regards to the technology issues, the VMS staff working with Memorial Care, we shifted to get enough people down there and make sure that people weren't missing their appointments. We shifted over to our Code Red system that we have in the village.
Yeah.
And that Code Red allowed us to call a big bulk of people on kind of an hourly basis to make sure that they were informed, again, focusing on 75 and over,
Right.
trying to get the word out because some people just don't have internet or computer systems. So having the Code Red, they're getting the call specifically and said, hey, if you haven't gotten your appointment yet, or hey, if you haven't gone through Athena and gone to Disneyland or Soka, you can come down right now and we can make available getting you the vaccine. So
Wow,
that kept
that's
the
good.
flow really well on Sunday. So we were really specific about that. One of the things that we saw that I wanted to mention that we had about a 30% no-show rate. And what we're finding out that's pretty consistent, maybe even a little lower than the national average of no-show. That means people are either denying the shot, which is possible, or they've gotten it somewhere else, which is very possible because we've run into people say, hey, I already got it, so I don't need to come.
Right.
And so they're not responding to the email. They're just saying, hey, I don't need to go, so I don't go.
Right.
And so we're trying to, that's where the Code Red's going to work effectively in getting those rest of those people connected. So
Okay.
going in the
Okay.
right direction there.
Okay.
Last night, after we wrapped up, Sunday, we closed with over 4,500 residents, 75 and above, being vaccinated over
Okay.
our 2 weekends.
That's great.
And as we talked about, that's about half just of our 75 plus group. So the no-shows, the people that have already been vaccinated, and now we try to finish the rest of the 75 before we move into the 65 plus group.
Okay, perfect. That's great. I mean, that's awesome, that you're halfway through and it's only been 2 weekends. So that's pretty fast.
Yeah, and we were hoping to be in that 3 to 4 weekends. So given the no-shows and like I said, and people that have already got it somewhere else, hopefully one more big weekend, and we're going to be close to getting our 75 group completed.
That's
and then
awesome.
we can go into the next step, which will be getting people their second shot time
Right.
frame, because we're coming back on that 28 days with
Right.
the Moderna,
Right.
and then coordinating other people who are 65. We really encourage people who are 65 and above to go through the Athena website with the county, because they're going to be actively doing vaccinations during the week, all the time.
Oh, every day?
Yeah. So,
Every day.
So that's a lot faster than our system. And of course, we were really trying to highlight our 75 and over group first, and then get into the rest of the community. And we will still do that.
Right, and they are operating at full force. I think Disneyland may have closed on Friday because of the weather. So
'cause they're
Soka was
outdoors.
still open, and as far as I know, I mean, at least I can speak on behalf of Soka, that it is open every day, 7 days a week. And I think they're open at least until 6 o'clock at night.
And that's great because they can handle,
Oh.
4,000 shots in a
Yes,
day.
they can.
So that's you can just pull that number out. That's certainly more than we can do, but it's a great addition. And they're still working, trying, if they can get more vaccines, to open up more in the county.
Right.
I did want to mention that we're aware of some neighbors who have special needs that are housebound.
Okay.
And if they need to get a vaccination and they're not sure, they can send a message to our info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. And we can get that information, and we're going to try to work with Memorial Care to see how we can arrange house calls down the road. We're taking a look at that, but we need your information. So if you know somebody or are that person in your housebound, get the information to us. Then if we can pull this off, we're going to work on trying to address that issue as well.
Right. Oh, that's great. That's good. I mean, yeah, that would be kind of a concern if you have people who you can't reach for sure. So, like you said, reach out.
One of the things that we noticed on Saturday and Sunday was that because of our age group, and we knew that, we were needing some extra wheelchairs. And so we want to reach out to our residents. If you have a wheelchair you're no longer using and don't need, we will take it for these events. We'll use them at the clubhouse until we're done with the vaccine, and then we'll donate those wheelchairs over to the Florence Sylvester Senior Center.
Okay.
We had probably 6 to 10 wheelchairs of different types yesterday that we were using. They're very effective because people can't stand for that long period of time.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. So if you are a resident or know of somebody that has a wheelchair that they don't need, please consider volunteering that into our Clubhouse 7, and we'll use it in the future coming up.
Okay, perfect.
Wanted to mention a couple of key volunteers. So we have a volunteer organization kind of being put together of our residents, and Diane Phelps and Joan Brown have been our leaders in pulling that together and getting all of her key staff people who have volunteered. It's been going great, and I just want to shout out to them on how well they're doing, and we want to continue that and just give them a big thank you for all of the volunteers and the work that they did over the weekend. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So there is one story that we want to hear about that is so exciting for this 100-year-old man.
And got his birthday celebration coming down on Sunday and getting his vaccination. There are a lot of stories like this, but this one's really special in the sense that again, is the 100th birthday, and able to get down here and get his vaccine, and showed his appreciation, and the family showed their appreciation. It was really great. And we had a number of those stories. And I know you were down there on Friday and heard some of them.
Right.
But the gratitude of our residents has just been kind of overwhelming. And so just wanted to mention a couple of them. Donations that we received to Memorial Care, a $500 donation that an individual gave us to provide for water and snacks. So we've just been inundated with that, and we so much appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you guys are doing a wonderful job down there, and thanks, of course, to all the volunteers through Memorial Care as well as here in the village. And it's been it's taking a village, and they're coming. They are rising to the occasion.
Yep.
So that's great.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you again on Friday.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. And when we come back, we're going to tell you a little bit about the vaccination distribution program that happened on Friday. And we're going to start out with a interview with Kevin Davidson, who is the VP of Development for Memorial Care. So stay tuned.
I'm very concerned that patients with stroke, heart attack, sepsis, or other medical emergencies are delaying care. Let me reassure you, it is safe and critically important that you do not ignore the signs and symptoms such as chest discomfort, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, or sudden onset of headache. If you think you may be having a medical emergency, don't wait, call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room.
Well, I've tracked down Kevin Davidson, who is the Vice President of Development here at Memorial Care. And boy, has he been running around doing a great job. Thank you for joining us and jumping out of line there.
Thank you. It really takes a team. So.
Well, yes, and there's an awful lot of people here, volunteers, like you said, from Memorial Care, as well as people from Laguna Woods Village. But tell us what's happening today.
Well, we're vaccinating as many residents as we can who are over the age of 75 who have scheduled appointments.
Okay, perfect. And approximately how many doses are given this weekend?
Well, we're going to do about 600 today, and hopefully between tomorrow and the next day, probably another 2,000 or so.
Now, I noticed there's an awful lot of people who are monitoring the situation, making sure rooms aren't too crowded. Tell me how that's working.
Well, I think it's working well. You know, last weekend we had a little bit of line backup and some challenges moving our flow through, but we made a lot of improvements over the week, and it seems to be moving quite smoothly today.
Okay, great. And then you said that people are monitoring at the door as well as other things. I mean, obviously sanitization is an important thing.
Absolutely. We have quite a number of volunteers here who are helping to monitor everything from making sure we have folks coming in with scheduled appointments, that we have surfaces sanitized, that pens and clipboards and all of that are getting wiped down after every use, and then making sure that the residents are moving safely through the line, as well as when we get them back into the vaccination area, making sure they're getting to registration okay, getting their vaccine, and then coming back into the observation area for the appropriate amount of time.
Okay, now the room that we're in now is called Station 1. Can you just quickly walk me through the process, what they'll do once they get there?
Absolutely. Here at Station 1, we're just checking paperwork. We're making sure that all the information that's on the form is accurate and completely filled out, and then we're also making sure we have the lot number for the vaccine that they're going to be getting today, so that we can track that through the process.
Okay, great. And then there's separate rooms for, this is obviously the registration, then they go to another room and that's where they get their vaccines?
Absolutely, yeah. So
Okay.
they'll stand in a short line and we'll work them in as we have registration clerks available. Those registration clerks will get them entered into our EMR and make sure that they're scheduled for their second vaccination. That was an added step. We weren't doing that last week. We do have a way to get those folks back in, but this time we're actually having people leave with scheduled second dose appointments, which I think is giving them a lot of comfort. And then they'll get their vaccine and work their way back into this observation area so that we can make sure they're monitored by a physician or a nurse practitioner or a nurse clinician.
Well-oiled machine.
Absolutely.
Now, I understand that there is now a no appointment line. Tell me what that is.
Well, thanks for asking. You know, we've been monitoring very closely the number of no-shows that we have in our appointment schedule. And one of the things we're really focused on is to make sure we've used every dose that we've taken out of the freezer. We can't put it back, and we really need to make sure that every dose of vaccine is utilized through the day. So if we start to see that there's a high no-show rate, we are trying to allow some walk-ins to be able to fill those out. It's not guaranteed, and depending on the day, we may not have that no-show rate, but we are doing our best to make sure that every arm gets a dose that we have, and that every dose gets used by the end of the day. And I know that's a little different than what Dr. Solomon and the Laguna Woods community talked about, but here on the ground we're really trying to make sure we're maximizing the use of every possible dose, and fortunately we've had to be flexible, and we have a team that's prepared to handle that.
All right, well, thank you for the time.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And now we're going to go find some residents and see how they feel about getting their vaccination, or maybe prior to getting the vaccination. So stay with us. Well, look who we found. We found Tom Nash. Well, how are you?
I'm fine, Lisa. Wonderful to see you.
Well, you're going to be getting your vaccination today. That is kind of exciting and also relieving, I'm sure.
It is relieving, and I've been hearing about what Memorial Care is doing here on village television, and this is wonderful.
Yeah, well,
And so eager to get this vaccination. So I thank everybody involved, and Memorial Care especially, for bringing it right to us here in the village.
Yeah, no, that's great. It is amazing how they were able to get those doses, not the last weekend, but now this last weekend, so it just keeps going. So I'm excited for you. So tell you what, when you come out, we're going to see how you're doing, okay?
Okay, very good.
All right, you just follow right along there. Well, I caught up with two folks who were here at the vaccination clinic, and Alexandra brought her mom, Arlene, to get the vaccine. Well, hi, ladies. How are you?
We're doing well.
Good.
much better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you relieved?
Well, you know, once you get the appointment, it runs as smooth as silk. We're here only 25 minutes, and I've already gotten my shot. I feel great, and I'm just grateful for the whole procedure.
And what did this mean to you to have it here?
So convenient. I'm so relieved that we've started the process. We already have our appointment set up for my mom's second dose. I have basically forbid my mother to go anywhere. Because I'm so worried.
Right.
I'm so worried about her. And the volunteers here are wonderful and abundant, and it was a fabulous way to get this done. I'm very appreciative.
Oh, I'm glad. It's a good peace of mind, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well.
And hopefully after the second shot, she'll let me out.
Yeah. Well, maybe she could take you to dinner.
Wow, that'll even be better.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much, and you stay healthy.
Thank you.
All right. So, how was it?
Well, it was very easy. Actually, the shot didn't hurt hardly at all. About the easiest shot I've ever gotten. And I got a little card here that has my next appointment on it, and it shows that I got the shot.
Right, and it's also very important that you keep that appointment, correct?
Indeed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, and you have a good rest of your day, and you have a sticker. It says, I got my COVID-19 vaccine. Awesome.
Very good. Very happy to have the vaccine and happy to wear the sticker.
Excellent. Well, you have a good day.
Thank you,
And
Lisa.
stay healthy and stay safe. Well, this has been a really great experience to see all of the folks here who said it was a smooth process, and they're all so thankful that they were able to get their vaccines right here in Laguna Woods Village. So stay tuned. We have some more information for you about Laguna Woods.
Improving your hearing is the most effective way to prevent cognitive decline. Research shows your brain cannot remember what it doesn't hear. Hi, I'm Ann Mundell-Noel, audiologist and owner of Amazing Hearing. Hearing loss makes understanding harder when others are wearing masks while doing Zoom calls, FaceTime, and watching TV. It's time to enjoy conversations again. Call Amazing Hearing to schedule your hearing appointment. We are the experts and we accept some insurances.
Welcome back. In honor of Black History Month, we are going to show a movie today and for the whole month of February. And today's movie is Southside with You, and you can see that at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 7 p.m. without subtitles. That's brought to you by Irvine Clinical. Have a great day in the Village. Happy Monday to you. We'll see you again here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.
Vacation where you live. The Towers offers the amenities and services of a hotel, 3-course dinners, weekly housekeeping, spacious floor plans with panoramic views, on-site maintenance, daily activities, and a 24-hour reception desk. Visit us at towers@lagunawoodsvillage.com.